So, you want to draw or paint grayscale in Krita or any other digital art platform, but you don't know how to do it. If that's the case, you're on the right video because we're going to discuss that in today's video coming up. But before starting off with that, we will be discussing about grayscale. What is it all about? In which situations and scenario you should be open to work with grayscale? But as I said, first thing first, we'll be discussing what grayscale actually is, especially in terms of art and illustrations. It's basically a form of color rendering technique where you only focus on the values and shades of black and white instead of actually all the other colors in the color wheel. Now the reason why beginners usually use it is because it makes it much more easier for us to establish the color as well as the lighting of the scene or the portrait you're working in, because you don't actually have to worry about juggling between the colors and the values. You just have to focus on them step by step, one after another. And also it does make your art feel much more professional than it actually is because the coloring looks great. So yeah, that's it. Enough with the crap you're not interested in. Let's move on the main section of this video. So for working with a grayscale, first thing we need is a proper line art. I'm assuming you already have one. Yeah, basically I'm assuming that you already know how to draw stuff. Yeah. But obviously you don't need to have the exact same art style of the line art as I'm having over here. The technique which we will be using will still remain the same, whether you're using a realistic, semi-realistic or completely cartoonic art style. So basically, to start off with everything, just simply select this line art layer, press right click and add a quick clipping group. Now to be very fair, you don't actually have to do it. I'm just doing it to keep everything neat and tidy, but as I said, it's not mandatory. Now in this layer, the top one, we will start making selections for our hair area. Now the reason we are going to do this is because we want to separate and basically divide our line art into various sections. In our case, we will be dividing it into 3 to 4 parts. One for our hair, then our face, and then our chest. And for this purpose, we will be using the freehand selection tool. And in Photoshop, people call it lasso tool. So after you have selected the freehand tool or the lasso select tool, just go to the advanced tool options over here. Now these over here are some of the advanced selection modes. The first one selects the area normally. If you select an area, make a selection and move to another one and make another selection, the previous one will disappear. This is how the normal one works. However, if you use the third one, this one, every time you make a selection and then move to another one, instead of previous one being disappeared, it just adds up to the single overall selection. I hope you get it. If you don't get it, when you'll use it, you will understand. Now this one, the fourth one, subtracts the selection area from the overall selection. Any selection which is going outside your line artwork, you can just use this. Just cut that area and you're good to go. Everything will be nice, clean and simple. We will be selecting our whole hair area. Now just add a white color on it or grayish, doesn't matter, and just cover it up. Now similarly, we will be repeating this entire process for our face as well as our chest area. Now the reason behind dividing the entire line art into various sections is because when you're shading, for the grayscales, you're adding ambient occlusion, you're adding shadows and highlights. It actually helps us to prevent overlapping of colors in different areas. It just makes everything a little bit easier to manage. But again, when you're doing it, make sure, unlike me, remember to name your masks or your layers properly because you will be using them or you'll need to remember them later on. So yeah, name them properly. Now after you're done with the layer segregation process, just press the alpha lock option for each of these layers so that there will be no leakage of colors when we will be shading. Otherwise, the whole purpose of just separating the layers will be defeated. And with this done, we will start with the final rendering or shading process. And this is going to be the most difficult part, because for this you will need a very good understanding of forms, shapes and lighting. And there is no single video on YouTube which will just barge this info inside of your brain until and unless you start practicing and studying references all by yourself. Try watching these videos. All of these are from amazing art channels. One of them is from my channel. Yeah, I'm very humble. But the point here is that you should watch these videos before proceeding to this step. And the reason behind recommending watching these videos is because they will help you to understand and break down real life references into much more simpler shapes. And after you're able to break these objects into similar shapes, you will be also able to shade them properly. But as I said, there is no hard and fast rule. You have to practice this. And as you can see over here, as an amateur artist, I'm still practicing my ass off, but still the ambient occlusion, the shadows or the shading in this particular piece is still kind of off. Now when you're done with the shading process, you can start coloring the portrait or your line art, whatever it is. But again, there will be two ways of doing this. One of them will give you horrible results, and I don't know why most of the artists I have seen on the internet are using this. That is just using a multiply layer on top of the grayscale. It's the worst method, don't use it, it will give you horrible results. However, the other one fixes all the errors, give you a much more better render, and will make your grayscale look much more vibrant when it's colored. And for that we will be using gradient maps. But we will be discussing it in the second part of this video, how you can color your grayscale and how you shouldn't be coloring your grayscale, because it will make it look ugly. So yeah, this is it for today's video. I just want to thank each and every single one of you for 2000 subscribers, as well as I want to give a shout out to all of these awesome comments from my subscribers, especially Green Sus, Rose Shark, KN Dent, I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly, and many more. All of your comments are super motivating to me, and they have kept me pushing for a really long time. So yeah, this was it for today's video. As I said, the part 2 will be uploaded soon, but till then you can watch these videos. The session is not over. So yeah, watch these videos to learn more about digital art, and I'll see you guys next time. Until then, peace.